So it's a new era, new way of doing everything.
Yep.
It saves a lot of time. I mean, you don't have to travel anywhere, and you can have meeting with hours consecutive all day, right? Just 1 minute between each meeting. You never have to move anything.
Yeah, but that's also the drawback on it, that
Right.
people can now have meeting with you all the time.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Torsten, is that a turkey you have sitting behind you?
Yeah, no, it's like yeah, that's the other fun part. Yeah, in normal meetings you can't play around with what's in your background. I have an even not a better one. I don't know. That's kind of silly. I am prepared.
Looks like Game of Phones to me.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And with some toilet paper. All right, something less silly.
All right, I have created co-hosts out of Sid and Torsten, because that's what we're going to be doing at the on Monday. So welcome everybody. Welcome Torsten, welcome Sid. Did you guys catch that I did that? I don't know whether you see it or not.
I don't know. I can unmute and mute everybody, so I can see that.
Okay.
And I have a security thingy, which I don't think was there before.
All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and say hello. Test everybody's microphones. So this is Natalie Bates, EEHBC Working Group. Sid?
Sid Jana, Intel.
Torsten?
Yeah, Torsten Wild with HPE.
Gert?
Good. Svensson, KTH.
Bob?
Bob Boltsequila.
Stephen?
Steve Dean with HP.
Steve, okay, great. Steve, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're actually the first person that is not already a member of the EEHBC Working Group on this list. So let me welcome you and ask you if you would like to get put on the distribution list. If you would, just let me know and I'll put you on. So, but
Okay.
I don't want to put you on the spot either. Okay, Anna Maria.
Natalie, this is Bob. Before we begin, I had a couple of people in the data center industry that have asked if they could just monitor our Monday and Tuesday call. Would that be all right?
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, they'll have to register though.
Okay.
I mean, unless they're going to sit in the same room with you, which I doubt.
Oh,
right?
no, they're out of towners, of course. We're all remote these days.
It's free to register.
I just
so
wanted to make sure it was okay before before anything.
Yeah, please do invite other people. We're currently, as of last night, we were at 130 people. So.
I don't know if they're friends of Bob's. I think I'd kind of be concerned.
Now, Dale. It's good to see you, though.
Okay, so we got Dale. Anna Maria, did we test your microphone?
Yes, good morning. How are you guys?
All right. Good. Steve Martin.
Hello.
All right. Barack.
Hello.
Okay. Jim Laros.
Morning, everybody.
Hey, Jim.
Michael Ott.
Hello, that's Michael.
Excellent. Sadie Joy. Welcome, Sadie.
Good morning.
I'm Sadie with KW Engineering.
Great. So Sadie, same offer to you. If you want to be a member, let me know.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Wung Shin?
Hi, good morning. Wung Shin from Oak Ridge National Laboratory.
All right. Hike?
Hi everyone, here is Hike.
All right. Okay, I think I got everybody. With the Zoom, the names keep flipping around. So it's hard to know for sure. Is there anybody that I did not get? Okay.
So Natalie, on the day of the event, unlike the SOP, I'm guessing you will not be going through the entire participant list and asking them to introduce themselves, right?
Yeah, we didn't even do that for the SOP. Remember, we had
Okay,
80
okay,
people.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And in fact, Sid, thanks for taking the floor, because I thought you would just go through what you're going to say, you know, in terms of meeting etiquette, et cetera, right now.
Okay. I am not prepared with the slides.
Oh, no, not the slides. You don't have to do the slides necessarily. So just kind of go through, though, what to expect.
Sure, yeah. So, sorry, I do have a few notes that I wanted to talk about. So let me just pull it up. Right, so the main thing is, as part of that etiquettes, essentially all I'll be doing is just, first welcoming everyone, and then essentially just pointing out that pointing out the agenda of the event. And then with regards to etiquettes in particular, I'll be talking about just the fact that we have different modes of communication where it will mainly be the speakers who would be talking. And then at the end of their talk, the question and answers, the etiquette there is that it's recommended that people hold back their questions up until the end of the talk. When the moderator or the session lead solicits for the questions, that is when it is recommended that people voice their questions. In addition to actually talking, people have an option of using the chat box, the Zoom chat box, to type in their questions anytime during the talk. And it becomes the responsibility of the session moderator and the leader to keep track of the Zoom chat box while their speaker is talking, and essentially make a note of those questions and then read them out loud during the Q&A session at the end of their talk, at the end of the talks, right? Let's see, other etiquettes. Oh yes, so in addition to questions specifically directed at the speakers, attendees are more than welcome to use the Slack channels. I don't know, Natalie, if you want to do a test round of whether people can access those channels or not, but essentially that Slack workspace is intended for any offline or hallway conversations where people would like to just comment on or share some technical information that doesn't necessarily relate to the Q&A round, right? So if people would like to voice their own opinion and give answers to questions that other folks have asked, they are welcome to do so, but all of that text needs to be in the Slack channel, right? So that the questions in the Zoom chat box is exclusively meant for the moderators and the speakers, right? What else? So Natalie, do you want folks, at least the session leaders, to quickly test if they are able to access the Slack channels? Or?
Yes, Torsten, can you share your screen with the website, the program page of the website? And Sid, why don't you go ahead and chat one of the links, Slack channel links, and so people can test it. I think that's a great idea.
So, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also working on it here.
So do we need to do something in order to connect to Slack, or will it'll be provided in the chat box of Zoom?
So Slack is a standalone software and requires either a web interface or an actual application installed on your laptop.
So this will require a second screen, or you'll only be able to be looking at Slack or the Zoom, or I guess you have to split your screen, but make it small.
So the Slack interface is not intended for anyone to be presenting. That is just an application that folks happen to have it open in the background. They can share screens, split screens, whatever, but that is just an interface which people can use before the workshop, during the workshop, or even many days following the workshop to just keep chatting amongst each other and just sharing ideas and open questions, right?
So even though the chat box is meant for Q&A, it's also a good place to put links, and you might want to do that for those of us that aren't typically users of Slack.
Right, so that is already done. So why don't I do that? So it's on the website, and thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, is if you put a link in right now, we can actually test clicking on it and see, for people who don't already have Slack set up, whether they can follow the link and be productive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Torsten, go to the workshop program page. Each one of the sessions has its own Slack channel that's posted on that page.
And it's also in the chat box here. If folks could just follow the link there, it's essentially going to open up the page that Torsten is sharing.
So to clarify, Natalie, that means that a user has to have 3 things open just to participate in this meeting. They need to have the website that has the workshop agenda, they need the Zoom, and they need Slack all at the same time. Is that correct?
No, Dale, you keep asking the same question, and I don't know why. Our intention is that the Slack channel is a hallway conversation.
Right.
You have it before and after the workshop. It allows for a conversation to extend beyond the workshop.
Okay, so it's not recommended to use it during the workshop.
Correct.
Oh,
but in that case, why is it different links to different sessions?
That is just for...
The reason that we did it by session, Gert, is because they're different topics. So different people might be interested.
Okay, so there is one chat room for each session.
Yes, can't I update because you have the channel somewhere. But, oh, here, okay.
But can you send the link so we can try out the Slack stuff, right? Or
it's right there. It's in the on the website, and Gert, if you click on the link. So Torsten, it looks like yeah, you're having to manually add it.
Yeah.
But by default, I have made a setting so that anyone, for example, if Gert today clicks on attempts to join the Slack workshop as a workspace, this is what he will see. So is it okay if I take over the screen just for?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Try if that works. Do we have to stop sharing, or can share over me?
I can just take over.
Okay, do that.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Works.
Okay, great. So if folks could see the screen here, what would happen is this. So if you notice Natalie's email, this was the email that was sent out of, essentially an invitation pointing to the website of the working group. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see links to the registration link. You all must have this in your inboxes. And then there's also a section at the bottom which talks about the Slack link. If that paragraph was not there in when Natalie sent it out, that's perfectly fine. You can just open this website, and even on this very front page of the website, you'll see this information on the home screen. You'll see this offline discussion section, right? And as Natalie pointed out, this is very much intended to be used anytime before or after or during the event, but it is just an optional place where people can talk about different topics, right? If you click on this Slack link, this is the page that will show. If you have the Slack software open, this is what would show up. This screen would show up on your, would open up on your laptop. If you do not have this Slack application installed, you will essentially have a similar looking page open up as a separate tab on your web browser, right? And what you'd see is automatically, you'd see this interface where you will see these different channels, right? And channel is just the Slack terminology used for essentially separating different hallway conversations to different topics, right? And by
Sid, I was just going to say, if people, while you're talking, I put a link right in the Zoom chat that I think will take people right into one of those links if they want to try it right now. So that, and this is maybe a test for in a given session, if somebody posted the link, people who haven't gone through this with you in this meeting could probably follow it, but
yeah,
just I don't know if it works for everybody. That's why I posted it there.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. So the link that Stephen has posted, essentially, you'll find similar links right in the workshop program itself, where you have each session, there is a individual standalone link. If folks specifically want to ask questions or discuss things related to that particular topic, right? And again, this doesn't have to be during the time of the workshop. It is just a venue where you can chat and discuss things offline, right?
Can I ask Steve a question? I went there and it says you can continue with Google, and then it says my account I don't have an account on this workspace, and I don't see a place where you can do it without, setting up an account on Slack. Could you explain how to get to that point?
You will indeed have to actually. I'll let Stephen answer. Sorry, this was a question for Stephen, but the short answer is you'll have to create an account first.
Ooh. Okay, we're not expected to have to do this as organizers and stuff, right? We can just let it go.
Well, so I think part of the utility of having this Slack set up would be the people who are doing these presentations potentially paying attention to questions and things asked maybe hours or days after the presentation. I think that would be nice, but I don't think we can demand that people spend their time doing that. That would be my takeaway.
I think, Steve, that's really good. Actually, I would like to say that all the organizers do not need to be Slack literate. It is something that I would really like us to develop, and that's why I wanted to continue with the practice. I would like, though, for all of the moderators to be responsible for their section. So each of the 4 moderators needs to at least know their session Slack. I mean, those 4 people.
Yeah, and maybe for those that are fairly computer illiterate, if somebody would just send out instructions, because I haven't even been able to sign in. So just step-by-step instructions on how to get into Slack would be a great concept.
Yeah, and some of us have been forced to use it for our daily work for quite some time. So it is a pretty powerful tool for communications. It allows you to do video conferencing and sharing screens and doing code reviews and things like that. So it's pretty handy. There's a lot of different tools that do that same kind of thing, but this one's relatively free and easy to use.
And what I'm showing on the screen here is just past conversations that have happened during the SOP workshop, where people have just kept posting questions and discussed topics offline. And that has really been helpful because the different speakers who were busy talking during the workshop, they could reach back to the tool at a later day and then look at their questions and actually respond to the individual folks. And that also helps foster, a sense of collaboration and, closed room discussions. So.
But in this page you get to, there is no way to set up an account for Slack, right? Or there is no login or create a login or?
Right. So the first time you click on any Slack link, and I believe that is what Dale was referring to, essentially you would come across a page which says that, hey, you do not have a Slack account, so would you like to create one? In which case one would proceed with entering that your desired email address. And once you do so, you will essentially now have a Slack account forever to use for whatever, not necessarily just for this working group, but any other collaborations in the future, right?
But I'm using Slack all day and still I don't come into this Slack because I guess the Slack I'm using is like a corporate Slack, something we pay for, and this is probably the free Slack, which is different. So I don't know.
I think you can sign in with your existing account credentials. So, I mean, that's what I did. It asked me a question when I went into this, when I followed that link that I posted, and, I got in, I didn't have to do too much extra work, but
I don't think
you could choose to keep them separate if you wanted to, versus using the same credentials you use on your corporate Slack account.
I don't think it will work with my corporate credentials. So I'm a little bit confused here, but I mean, that is just a way to say that other users might experience the same problem, right? So
I'm having trouble.
I'm sure I can get it to work in some way, but I don't know how really, because.
Well, I'll reiterate, it seems like A, there's a number of people that don't know about Slack, and B, there's a number of people having trouble. It would really be good to just send out step-by-step instructions for all of us to use, as well as the 150 people that are signing up or whatever it is.
Okay, I think we got the message. We'll see what we can do, and also, in the future, if this is something that we want to keep going with, which I think we do, we could maybe even have a tutorial on it. So, okay, I just found out Torsten needs to take off in about 10 minutes. So Torsten.
Yeah, I have a same thing at the bottom of the hour, but
okay.
Keep going.
Okay, so Torsten has a special role as well. Sid, I'm going to interrupt you and
I'm done.
Okay, great. Move over to Torsten. So Torsten is going to be our background person. He's going to be the person who has all the presentations and shows all the presentations off of his computer. So any speakers on the line, you're going to ask Torsten, you're not going to share your screen. It's going to be Torsten, and you're going to ask him to change slide. So all of the presentations are due today, and I'm going to post them all on the website. I'm going to make sure Torsten has all of them. And they're going to be, again, loaded on his machine. If you make any changes to your presentations between now and Monday or Tuesday, we can probably accommodate that. But we'd really like to have, final presentations today, if at all possible. So.
Hey, Natalie, this is Steve Dean. Just to double check with you and Michael for the liquid cooling discussion. My understanding, there are no presentations. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thanks. So I won't be late. All right.
Good
No, you'll be fine.
Natalie,
Any
let me
further
try
questions?
sharing
Yeah, please do.
the video and see actually if that works and that you can hear actually everything.
You're pretty faint, Torsten.
Okay, You can hear the sound and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
So
was
then-
actually loud on mine. So yes,
Right,
very.
it was too loud. Yep.
Yeah, mine as well.
Okay, so then probably I need to turn it down. Yeah.
So why am I part of the EHPC
And then
working
it's-
group? Well, there's a number of reasons really. First and foremost, it's great to learn.
How was that?
was
Is that better?
Perfect.
Okay, then I keep it as is. Perfect.
Yep, I agree.
Great. Excellent.
Good.
That's really good.
And Torsten, I'm guessing you will be playing at full screen, right? This video.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, that
Learn from other
seems good.
individuals. And
Okay. Yep. Does it work?
Yeah, it does. That's great. That's really good.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for Torsten?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. Do you care what format the presentation is? I think mine's in a Google presentation right now. Is that okay or?
Nah, PDF or PowerPoint would be good, I think.
Okay,
Something that I can, yeah. Or I mean also the open, whatever that is, what's that open source text thingy?
LibreOffice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, LibreOffice or something. So a format that works as well.
Okay, great. Will do.
And I don't
Is
wanna
there a time today that we should get those to you by?
No.
No.
Today. End of day is fine.
Today. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's one more piece of information about Slack because I already had an account for my, and so the workspace that you sent the link for, unless you've added our accounts to that, then we can't get into it.
Oh, that's why.
And it's complicated by the fact that my Slack account is on my old business email and they've changed our URLs at Schneider. So I'm not saying that it's not a big deal to me, but I'm just saying that's why some people can't get in there. So just for note. Because you have to opt people into that workspace or they're not going to be able to get in there.
Mm-hmm. I see.
So what's the plan? Do we send somebody emails to opt us in or?
Or is there a setting that can make it an open group rather than a closed group?
So I did indeed do that. Carl, if you don't mind, could you please just repeat what the issue was? Why is it that?
Well, because Schneider Electric has changed their email URL. See, it used to be my email was carl.kersey@schneider-electric.com, which is a bunch. That's what my Slack account set up at because I've had it for a long time. But the email that you probably have for me is carl.kersey@se.com, which is the new Schneider URL. So in my case, you probably added me as carl.kersey@se.com, but that's not how it's referenced in Slack. So that may just be unique to me, but other people may run into that or not. Probably not Los Alamos people, because I suspect yours has been the same forever.
Exactly, the latter, indeed. So the email, the joining link that I sent right now is essentially an open invitation to anyone, no matter what email domain they use. It is just a publicly accessible Slack workspace, and the settings is such that I do not need to explicitly reach out to folks or need to authorize certain email domains to get them through, right? So were you able to, with this new email address, click on the link and have the workspace added?
I wasn't.
It's in the chat.
It worked for me. I had to create a new password for it, but then it's able to migrate with my other Slack.
Okay, well, I don't want to tie this up, but I'll work with that. So because it asks for Google account, which I can do that, or if I do my.
Yeah, really, it could be absolutely any email ID at all and any password, because that would, right? So.
Okay, yeah, so that's working now. Okay.
Okay, so I have to.
Yep.
So yeah, please get me your presentations as soon as possible, and yeah, if you need to update it, just send me a new version.
Torsten, is there a particular Google Drive that you will be creating your final set of slides? Or if you could please share them to me and I'll share my slides just as a backup.
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe it's that we need to discuss that we each of have a backup in case one of the other dies.
I would like to create it on, I'll go ahead and create it on the drive that we've been using that I put in the minutes, right? So I've already created a folder of presentations. That's where I was going to put everything.
Perfect. That works. Not any. Thanks, everybody, and talk to you all Monday.
Thank you. Okay, Sid, could you share the agenda again? And we'll just keep marching through then. Okay, so Sid, as we were saying, is going to do the introduction, and Sid is, I don't know, I think we covered everything you were going to do except for that. You are going to introduce Anna Maria.
Indeed, yes.
Okay, and then Anna Maria, I think we said you were going to hand off, or no, Sid, you were going to thank Anna Maria and then hand it off to Grant?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, great.
But then following that, Grant is going to hand it over to the session 2 lead and so on.
Right, right. Okay. Okay, so so we have Grant Stewart doing the facility scale efficiency. And in that there are 3 speakers, and we have I think two of the speakers on the line. So that's Carl and Sadie. And Carl and Sadie, do you know the order of the talks? You know what, Sid, if you could go to page 2, actually, the workshop program, go to technical session.
I'm second. I think Sadie's up first if she's from SkySpark.
Yeah, that's the order. So it's Sadie first, then Carl, and then finally Yoshi. So each one of you has 10 minutes for your presentation. There will be no time between the presentation for questions and answers. It'll be a combined question and answer, 15 minutes at the end.
Okay.
And Grant is going to be watching the chat box, the Zoom chat box for questions. I'll make sure, as a background person, I am going to be looking at the Slack channel. If there are anything that comes in through the Slack channel, I'll post them in the chat box on Zoom. Anything of interest. Does the, other than that, does the, so you can see you guys have your own Slack channel. You're welcome to go in and start populating it with questions for the other speakers or comments or whatever. Looks like I still need a couple of line description of the session. I'll have to ask Grant for that. And oh, I do also, he did do a YouTube. So I actually already have a YouTube that I need to put in there. It's on the front page, but I didn't populate the second page with it yet. Anything else on the facility scale efficiency?
I'm good.
All right. Okay, hot debate of liquid cooling. I also have the preview here. Thank you, Michael. And we have the Slack channel. Those are the panelists. Bob, Rolf, Dominique, Steve, Manny, and Steve. And I think we still have Bob, Steve on the line, as well as Michael and Dale. And
Manny is here as well.
Oh, hi, Manny. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. I'm great. Good, we tested your microphone too. Okay, Michael or Dale, do you want to add anything there?
So, Natalie, when you said hot debate, what are we debating?
This is cold.
And welcome, Steve, too. I'm going to leave. Dale, you want to answer that, or Michael?
Well, I mean, I did send out the email with the details for the session, like the rules and everything, and I think I also added some topic to be covered on the introductory statement. So I think in general it will probably evolve around the questions where we are going with liquid cooling and then what kind of temperatures we are expecting in future, also giving higher case temperatures for lower case temperatures for next generation CPUs maybe. But then it's really open what kind of questions we get from the audience. I mean,
But I guess the debate surrounds how there will be different answers to those questions.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
I mean, yeah, it's not a debate in the formal sense of a debate.
Right. I thought we were going to talk about capital punishment or abortion or socialism or something.
Actually, I got a couple of questions. On our 1 minute opener, it talks about future trends and challenges. How much can be captured in water? Are we talking the primary facility water? Or are we talking the secondary water that we feed the IT, or both?
Wouldn't that be the same?
Say again, please.
Shouldn't that be the same? I mean, eventually everything from the secondary loop needs to go to the building site loop, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah. If you have a CDU, like a lot of us do in our products, the CDU is more of a closed loop system, and the water temperature that is transferring to the facility could be variable at that point.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
So that's really, there's two separates there.
Right. And to kind of agree with you, Bob, the amount of heat that goes into the water is in part dependent on the liquid cooling system, but it's also really dependent on what is the CPU power, how much copper is in the motherboard, what's the memory power, is it worth trouble cooling the memory chips and other things. So what we've seen, or what I've seen, is people saying, well, my liquid cooling system captures 80, 90, 100% of the heat. But in reality, the cold plate design is kind of secondary to the air temperature, the water temperature, the CPU power, and the motherboard design.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that will be part of the debate on Monday.
Okay, sounds good.
Tuesday?
I actually have a technical, an administrative question. So I am not a super expert on Google Sites, but if you if you go down to the bottom of the page, you'll see that I posted bios and pictures of everybody. It would be nice if we could do some sort of a link between those pictures and bios and the names up above in the technical sessions. If anybody knows how to do that, please speak up and I'll work with you offline to figure out how it's done. Also, while I'm on the subject, if you haven't yet sent your speaker photo and bio, but would like to include them, please send them to me so that I can get them in there.
This is Carl again. I provided mine to Grant, but I don't see it down there.
Yeah, okay. Can you resend can you just resend it to me? And
and this is Mani. I've not sent it yet, so I will do it today.
Great. Okay. Anything else on the liquid cooling? All right, so then that's it for the day. So Michael, you're going to be signing us off basically at the end of the day.
Yes, and we will basically just continue then with the beer party for the European participants.
That's right. Yeah, which I sent the invitation for. I sent it last night to everybody who had registered so far. So it went out to 130 people, 135 actually.
One thing I just noticed on the Slack is the magic link expires rather quickly. As a matter of fact, it expires within 5 minutes.
Interesting. Okay. This is the link to join. Is that?
Yeah, the magic one, the one that you didn't need any sign-in verification on. So we might want to all set up accounts.
Good to know. Okay, so this is what I can do. There is this one special link that it says here, it expires in 29 days. So that is the link then that I will make sure is on the workshop so that folks might not, on the website, so that folks might not have to do it right now.
Thank you.
Is there any way to email that out? Because I'm running about 3 or 4 screens these days.
Fair enough. I'll do that. Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so so the next day we open again with Sid. He's going to remind us about the meeting etiquette and, welcome and remind us, and a shorter introduction, but still in it,
I won't talk much.
Same introduction. Okay, and then I'm going to do an update to the EEHBC working group, which will include that video that Torsten tested, plus some background material, but plus some other slides, just an overview. And then I'm going to turn the floor over to Woong, and I think Woong is still on the line.
Yes, I am online.
Okay, yeah, and I know you've done a lot to prepare your folks, and I don't know that any of your other speakers are on the line. I don't think they are.
So yesterday we did the test, so it was a little bit difficult to ask them to attend again. So yeah, that's the reason.
No.
So I'm here representing everybody. Yep.
Yeah, no, you did great. Were there any questions that we need to have not been answered, or?
Not necessarily related to what I see today.
Okay. All right. And I did create YouTubes out of presentations that I need to put those in the on this page as well. They're on the front page, but not on this page. So, all right. And then Woong, you're going to hand it off to Torsten, who's the moderator for the ML session.
Yes, I will.
Okay. And again, so now Hike and let's see. So the first one is actually Sergey, and then Hike, and then Barak. So again, each one of you gets about 10 minutes, and then followed by a collective Q&A of 15 minutes that Torsten will moderate.
Barak, it would be helpful if we could get your talk title and one or two sentences.
Yes, I thought I provided that, but okay, I'll forward it again.
Oh, sorry if you did.
So I'll send you an email, Natalie.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Plus, you're everybody's, so Hayek and and Barak, and your presentations, are due today as well. The PowerPoint presentations.
Yeah, that's ready. Mine is ready.
Okay.
I actually sent you and Torsten mine as well, so you should be having it.
Great. Okay, and then at the end of the day, I will do a wrap up. Unless Anna Maria, you want to do the wrap up.
No, I'm fine. You can. I think you should do it.
Okay. So I think that's it. I mean, that's it. There's another beer party, by the way. So there's a beer party at 9 o'clock and then a happy hour at 4 o'clock on Monday. We'll see how those go. Everybody's invited. I hope everybody is registered already for the workshop, the Zoom meetings. I haven't, checked the names on the list. I'm assuming all of you guys are.
Natalie questioned this, Mani. Who am I sending the bio and photo to?
You can go ahead and send it to me, Mani.
Okay, I will.
Michael, you gonna forward our bios over? This is Steve Dean.
Yeah, I think yours already online, isn't it?
I did not see it just now.
Oh, I could have, yeah, because.
Yeah, I think I forwarded it late yesterday, so maybe you didn't see it yet.
Yeah, maybe I haven't seen it. Okay. Okay, any other comments or questions?
Just a quick one. Are we going to have a 30-minute workshop meeting? So the workshop actually starts at 7 a.m. PT, but are we going to need something like 6:30 to do the final tech check or not? Yep.
I'm going to be on the line starting at 6:30. I'm assuming that people will, like yourself, will come earlier, but obviously you don't need to be there on Monday at 6:30, right? So,
should I? Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it up to. I'm assuming Sid and Torsten will be there for sure. Earlier, and Torsten especially, because he'll have all the presentation material. But I'm not panicked about it, Woong.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if people are there 5 or 10 minutes early and just say hello, you know what I mean? 10 minutes should be fine. 30 is a lot. There'll be a lot of hanging around if everybody joins 30 minutes early.
That's right.
So Natalie, can I do a quick recap just to make sure that we're all on the same page here?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So what I'm seeing is that we'll all have a 1-minute introduction after a 10-minute keynote. We'll all get to speak a little bit, and then questions will be coming in from the group via chat that will be moderated. And that chat isn't for everybody, but it's for the moderator to be able to share the questions. And then the Slack account would be for us to talk internally between ourselves. Is that correct?
So there's just one correction.
Okay.
And that is in the agenda, you guys actually follow the facility scaling session. So you don't follow the keynote.
Okay, got it. So we'll be automatic. We'll have a really quick introduction by the moderator, and then we'll each have a minute then.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Michael.
Yeah, that's the plan, correct. And then the audience, everybody in the audience can post questions on the chat, and then I will select the questions and direct them to panelists.
Beautiful.
But I think that Bob also didn't quite have the Slack and chat thing right. Either that or I don't have it right. The chat's going to be open to everybody, right?
Yes, everybody can ask questions.
Not just the moderators and stuff, Bob. Everybody is on chat, but
Yeah,
it's
but
only
Michael's going to be moderating those questions.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The idea is that the questions go in the chat box and everything else goes on Slack.
And you don't have to answer. In fact, please don't answer the questions in the chat box. Let's do that verbally, right? So the questions go into the chat box, but the answers are verbal. By the way, this whole thing is being recorded. All of the workshop is going to be recorded. It's going to be put on YouTube, and we're going to have timestamps for the various sessions so that people who can't attend the workshop will be able to watch it and listen to it after the fact.
Michael, a question for you on this with the discussion on the liquid cooling. As you pose questions to different panelists, the answers they provide may not be representative of some of the other panelists' views. How would you want us to handle communicating back to you if we'd like to see a different answer also offered up? Or, you know, how do you want to work that?
Well, I think for the panelists, I mean, for them, the usual etiquette applies. They can ask questions back, of course. I mean, the idea was the chat is really to somehow handle the audience of maybe 130 people. So if everybody just speaks up, that doesn't work. But of course, for the few panelists, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry. I think what we're going to do during the Q&A, let me just clarify, Michael, because I think your answer was right, but I just want to clarify the logistics. So during the Q&A session, unmuted will be all of the panelists plus Michael. And it'll be, you guys should treat it as if you're on a dais with a microphone, right? So if somebody answers and somebody else has something to add, it could just be a natural, I'd like to add something here, or I don't quite agree, you know, so you're going to be passing the mic, as it were. There aren't so many of you that it, you know, I think you can just do that as if we were in any kind of regular meeting.
Okay.
So
Michael, but as I understand it, if certain panelists are being a little unfair in terms of their time allocation, you reserve the option to mute them, right? And then they'll be muted. Is that correct?
Yes, but I don't think it will come to that.
there is also private chat. You know, you can let the person know through private chat, right? Hey, come on, share the floor. I mean, I can do that too. I'll listen and help out there too. Good questions. All right, Dale, we got you front and center here. I don't know why. I never know who's going to show up on these screens. All right, anything else? Excellent. Thanks so much, everybody. You're doing a great job. I think this is going to work out really well. I think we're going to have fantastic attendance. My guess is we'll probably have, you know, on the order of 150 people, maybe more. And then it's all going to be recorded so that people can watch it later too. So
I have a question. Is this open to anybody, or is it restricted to?
No, it's open to anybody. Please send the invite.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Absolutely free and open. The only, my only concern is that I think Zoom is limited. Zoom meetings are limited to 300 people. So, but I'm monitoring it. If we get to close to 300, I'll figure something else out. All right. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Natalie. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Have a great weekend.